Oh, wow. That's fast. Good evening, everybody. Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. Tuesday, November 24th, Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. We're going to be limiting physical access in the meeting room due to current limitations on public gatherings. Accommodation has been made to ensure the public is able to participate in the meeting. Public may participate in the following ways: watch the meeting on Franklin TV or the City of Franklin website, watch the live stream through the City of Franklin Facebook and YouTube accounts, call into the conference meeting at 1-312-626-6799 with meeting ID of 965-0763-4217 with a passcode 790818. Callers will be unmuted and given an opportunity to comment during the meeting at specific times. Limited viewing will be available in the lobby of City Hall to watch the live video and make public comment. The public may email comments and questions prior to 4:30 p.m. on the day of the public meeting to the recorder at franklintn.gov to be read aloud. Live comments and those submitted by email will be limited to 2 minutes. Here's the addresses you need: www.youtube.com/user/City of Franklin, or City of Franklin Facebook Live, which is www.facebook.com/City of Franklin, or you can go to the website www.franklintn.gov/Franklin TV. This meeting is called to order, and I will call the roll. So, Alderman Barnhill, are you present?
Present.
Alderman Martin?
Present.
Alderman Branchford's absent. Alderman Speedy?
Present.
Alderman Berger? Vice Mayor Berger, excuse me.
Present.
Alderman Blanton?
I am here.
Alderman Peterson?
Present.
Alderman McClendon?
Present.
And I'm present also. We'll now have an invocation by Alderman Barnhill. I'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you'll join me.
Would you bow, please? Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer tonight, thanking you for this nation that we live in. We know that we are truly a blessed nation. We know that your blessings that are afforded us that no other nation in this world has. But we also know that these are also troubling times with various problems that each of us have, whether it's a medical problem, whether it's problems with families being separated. We ask your blessings on each of us. We ask blessings upon the military. This time of the year, it's very difficult to be separated from family. We ask your blessings upon our first responders as they protect our freedoms, as they go into areas where we need their expertise. We also ask that you be with each of us tonight as aldermen, as the mayor. We ask that you give us spiritual wisdom and guidance. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So next is Resolution 2020-237, a resolution declaring the Board of Mayor and Aldermen shall meet on November 24th, 2020 and conduct its essential business by electronic means rather than being required to gather a quorum of the members physically present in the same location because it's necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger. I apologize.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. We'll now go to citizen comments for items that are not on the agenda. I think we have some people on the line. We'll be limiting you to 2 minutes. We would ask that you state your name, give your address, and limit your comments to 2 minutes or less.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. This is Tony Caudill. If I can speak.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
No, thank you. So again, my name is Tony Caudill. I'm at 208 School Path Lane in Franklin. And I'll go ahead and get started then. Good evening to everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to briefly share my comments and to add my 2 minutes of thoughts to the discussion about the Christmas parade. Let me first say that I fully respect the intention of the organizers of this new parade to find some sense of normalcy during these trying times, especially around this normally festive time of year. My family and I are going to miss Dickens of a Christmas, all the holiday movies at the Franklin Theater, attending the Christmas tree lighting in person, and the Kiwanis Christmas parade. Nobody's happy that any of these great events are canceled this year. But the fact is that this is anything but a normal year. And unfortunately, the spread of the novel coronavirus and COVID-19 has become significantly worse over the past several weeks. The CDC is recommending Americans avoid travel and only celebrate Thanksgiving with those who live in the same household. Middle Tennessee hospitals are at or near capacity with the expectation that cases will increase during and after the holiday. And our school systems, at least for middle and high schools, are already planning for remote learning after the holidays. Given all of this, it is difficult to understand how we as a community can support a potentially large gathering of people at this time. The virus will not respect the good intentions of those participating in the event. While people can choose whether to attend this event or not, the fact is that those who do choose to attend are part of the larger community and may unintentionally put others at risk. And so I respectfully request that the Board of Mayor and Aldermen reconsider the permit for the Christmas parade. As the virus conditions today are worse than they have been at any other time of the year, it seems the prudent course of action is to do everything we can to minimize risks. Let's prioritize the health and safety of our community as a whole, help to keep our kids in school, and provide an environment in which our businesses can keep open and keep our economy going. Thank you again for the time.
Thank you, sir. Are there other people on the line?
Other caller, you've been asked to mute. Go ahead if you'd like.
Well, we'll end the citizen comments there. We'll now go to communications from the Williamson County Commission. I have none. We now go to approval of the minutes for November the 10th, 2020, 5 p.m. work session and the November 10th, 2020 Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. Is there a motion?
Move
Move
for
for approval.
approval.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Martin, and second by Alderman Peterson. Any discussion? You ready to vote? Starting from the bottom. Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. We'll now go to recognitions and miscellaneous reports, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Stuckey.
Thank you. Good evening. Just wanted to mention some important things that have happened since we last met and that are forthcoming before we next meet. First and foremost, I want to take a moment to recognize an upcoming retirement. Lawrence Sullivan, who has been with us for over 7 years, has served as the leader of our revenue management and customer service area here at City Hall, will be retiring on December 3rd. So Lawrence has served us well. If you know Lawrence at all, you know he is the epitome of a people person. He loves our community. He loves the people in our community. He loves the city team that he works with, both his direct team and our broader city team, and he strives to take care of them every day and serve them, and of course, his fellow Rotarians. So we will miss Lawrence. We wish him well as he moves into retirement. He has made a significant impact in the city in his work here. When he came after a distinguished career at BGA, came here 7+ years ago. He worked with us in bringing on a new utility billing system, which was a huge undertaking. He has been instrumental in something you will see soon, which is the electronic billing platform that we're moving forward. And through it all, he's shown care for our people, for our team, and for the broader community. So I just want to recognize Lawrence, take a minute to give him recognition. I wish we could give him a standing O in person like we would if we were in a normal meeting. But thank you, Lawrence. We wish you the best, and just take care, and don't be a stranger. You're only a block away, so pop in City Hall anytime you'd like. Thank you, Lawrence. So with that in mind, though, I want to make an introduction. We have been fortunate in that we've had a little overlap with Lawrence, and his successor, Jessica Davey, joins us as our new revenue management, customer service manager and leader in that area. So Jessica comes to us after I served an extensive period in Metro Davidson as the deputy trustee there. And so she's got a great background. She is an attorney, has an excellent background in finance and law. And we're just thrilled to have her joining our team, and especially thrilled to be able to have this crossover in terms of the handoff of leadership from Lawrence to Jessica, and to continue to work with our very capable, talented, caring team in revenue management and the great customer service work that they do. So I want to formally welcome Jessica. She's on the call as well. Welcome, Jessica. We're thrilled to have you with us.
Thank you, Eric.
All right. And then one other important personnel matter that has happened since we last met. I had the privilege of appointing a new IT director, and it's somebody very familiar to us. It's Jason Potts. Jason is officially our IT director, a role he's served for over 8 months in the interim role, and is now in that role as our fully appointed IT director. Jason's worked with the city for going on 18 years, back to when IT was him and like one other guy, and now is a much more involved, significant department in terms of staff power, but also the way it touches everything we do in city operations. And we are thrilled that we're able to advance one of our own who has proven himself, and again, just like we talked about Lawrence and Jessica coming on, has a great commitment to serving this community and supporting our team. And so I want to congratulate Jason and welcome him to his new role, which feels a lot like the role he's been doing for the last 8+ months. But welcome and congratulations, Jason. So while I have the floor, I'll make one more announcement, Mayor. It was referenced a little bit earlier, but on Thanksgiving night at 6 p.m., we will have the world premiere of a video that is essentially our virtual tree lighting. We can't bring the 8,000 plus that we brought together last year on the square to light the tree, the Christmas tree, and celebrate kind of ringing in the season with music and choirs and the great things we do. But we've tried to recreate it the best we can with a fun, creative story that also ties in some of the most familiar elements of the annual Christmas tree lighting. So it's 6 o'clock. You can tune into Franklin TV and any of the city's social media platforms and see it. It's not a real long production, but one I think you'll find entertaining and fun and help ring in the holiday season. And if you don't catch it at the premiere time at 6 o'clock, you can catch it anytime after that, again, on any of the city's social media platforms. So I want to thank our communication team for their fine work in bringing that together. Our sponsors, Middle Tennessee Electric and Williamson Medical Center, who have stood by us even in this unique way to be a part of bringing something special to the community. So I want to thank everybody for that and look forward to seeing it myself on Thanksgiving night. Thank you.
We have a caller that was, she's still like comment on great if you buy
I'll allow it.
So for the caller that just entered, was having technical issues, the mayor is going to allow you 2 minutes if you'd like to speak. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Erin Holland. I am one of the not sponsors, but I'm one of the co-planners for the Christmas parade. I just wanted to call in and just kind of implore the board. We planned this kind of on the fly, on a whim. We just wanted the community to be able to come together and do something for our kids, mainly. That was our main idea. We just wanted them to be able to perform something after so many things had been canceled on them left and right. We did cut the size of this parade by more than 2/3. It is significantly smaller than any of the parades we've had in the recent past. We have not been advertising the parade because we don't want to draw a huge crowd of out-of-towners. And that's why we really just expect family and friends of people who are going to be in the parade, and then people who are just going to be shopping that day anyway, to be able to enjoy, what we've put together. We specifically changed the route, thanks to Eric Specky's suggestion. We changed the route to utilize a lot of Hillsborough Road because there's just so much room to spread out there. The sidewalks are super wide. There's parking lots behind you. There's not buildings right up against you, keeping you up against the road and, close to other people. We've done everything that the city asked us to do. I really feel like this parade's going to be even shorter than an hour because if you think about it, when you watch a parade, every entrant that goes by, it could be one car. It doesn't take a full minute to even have a car pass by in a parade. So it could be a 35-minute parade, or even less time than that. It's just a small parade. It's outdoors. People can spread out. We're not expecting huge crowds. And I know, there's no way to really tell that, but, just the fact that it hasn't been advertised and it is so small. There's not nearly as many entrants as there has been in the past. I just really implore you guys to not pull this out from under us at the last minute. We've had so many people give so much money, time, effort. We built floats. People have been practicing dance routines, songs, their music, and so many people are looking forward to seeing their kids in this. It's just, I feel like we're being picked on a little bit here. It's not going to be a huge, event that's just going to draw thousands and thousands and thousands. It's really meant for just our community. And I really would appreciate if y'all can stick with your original plan where you voted yes and allowed us to go ahead and start the plans and get these people signed up and get this rolling. So I would just ask that you just let us do it. Trust the people. We're the citizens and, we should be trusted to do what we feel is right. And I feel like this is right. Thank you.
Ms. Holland, if you would give your address for the record, please.
Sure. 842 Walden Drive, Franklin.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
We'll now go to the consent agenda, and all items under the consent agenda deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing body. They will be approved as recommended by committee or staff by one motion of the governing body. Tonight, we're considering items number 11 through 20. I'll consider a motion, and I think Alderman Peterson has a motion. Go ahead.
I would like to have item 14 removed from consent agenda, so it would become then items 11 through 13 and then 15 to 20.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Martin. Any discussion? Ready to vote. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We need to ask you to remove 15, 16, and 17. Those relate to some appraisal services, and we need to add a condition or an element of work to that scope.
When you say remove them,
We need to defer them to the next meeting. I apologize. I had gotten a message right before the meeting on that.
If I could ask Alderman Peterson if she would consider adding to her motion
For item,
deferring items 15, 16, and 17 to December 8th.
Yes, December 8th.
December 8th.
Defer 15, 16, 17 to December 8th.
Yes.
And Alderman Martin, are you good with that addition?
I am.
Very good. Now we'll go back and we're ready to vote. We'll start over again. How about Alderman Barnhill?
Yes.
Alderman Martin?
Yes.
Alderman Speedy?
Yes.
Alderman Berger? I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Berger. I'm having a little difficulty getting used to this, Vice Mayor.
Only been 2 weeks. Yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson?
Yes.
Alderman McClendon? Was he still on?
I said yes.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. Passes 7-0. Next is item 4, consideration resolution 2020-172, a resolution providing next steps related to the road network and our future land uses in the West Harpeth area, defined as the area generally west of the new section of McHatcher Parkway between Hillsborough Road and Highway 96 West. Is there a motion?
I move for approval with comment.
Second.
And what are you proposing? Is that?
Which option?
I'm sorry. The updated B.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yes, sir. Second.
Thank you, Alderman Blanton. Okay, go ahead, Alderman Martin.
Well, I heard the comments. I read the proposal, but I would like for the staff to consider stepping out of the box and working with some of the property owners that are having difficulty with the timing, and it might result in not going through. So I would ask that staff consider helping some of the property owners who are having a time problem with their development.
Mr. Mayor, can I comment on that?
Go ahead and comment,
Okay.
Mr. Stuckey.
Well, as we indicated before, we would certainly work with them to begin in parallel the annexation process. I've been in discussion with some of these property owners as recently as this afternoon about what their needs might be. So we'll continue to work with them, but we do want to make sure we do the appropriate work to understand the modifications to infrastructure and how it affects land use. That's the core of this. But we certainly understand there are certain considerations that they're working through, and we will continue to work with them and keep you in the loop as well.
Thank you so much.
And may I clarify
other comments?
something?
Go ahead, Alderman Blanton.
This west drainage basin, as it is written or referred to, does remove Brownland Farm. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make
Yes.
sure that was said out loud.
Okay, any other comments? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon. some reason or other we don't hear you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Passes 7-0.
It's this fancy mic that kills all the sound that's not right up on it.
Next is item 5. This is a public hearing, consideration resolution 2020-190, a resolution approving the USCT Soldier Public Art installation.
Mr. Mayor, I know we have some folks on the line that are part of the Fuller Story team. I will just make a couple comments as a lead in. Obviously, this has been part of the Fuller Story initiative that you approved over a year ago. That started to be put in place with the markers on the square. This is kind of the culmination of that with a statue recognizing, honoring U.S. colored troops that served. And one of the other elements that goes with that is also a transfer deed of property that is immediately underneath where the statue will be located. The other element that is just a factor for you to weigh in on, we were not able to get the physical maquette, the model here because of its fragility. We do expect to have a smaller bronze version of it, probably by the middle of December. So if you would like to have that physically present, we can schedule this a second hearing in January and then vote then, or if you're comfortable with the renderings and images we've provided and moving forward now, that's okay too. But we want to let you know there was just some technical issues, and the clay version of the maquette is very fragile, and the bronze version obviously will not be so much. So, and that will probably be here. We think Eric Jacobson can answer it better than I can, but I think around the middle of December, and then we can have it physically present here at City Hall if you'd like to be able to look at it in person or give that opportunity to the public as well. So we've got a series of renderings as well, but we wanted to share that with you. And I'll turn it over to the members of the team that have worked so diligently on this over the last really almost 3 years now to speak to this. And then we'll open it up for the public hearing component as well.
Well, I do want to say that I would hate to promise that it would be here by the December meeting. But as Eric said, the clay version that I think you have photographs of is a very fragile object. In fact, when it is taken to the foundry to be cast, it has to be done very, very delicately. But I believe, Eric, I sent, I think, 5 photos, which sort of showed from upper, front, side, rear, some detail on the legs, and et cetera. Now, also, there's still some minor, some minor work, some minor touch-up work that needs to be done. But I mean, this is what we've been striving for. Obviously, you won't be holding a red musket. That's just a little placeholder. But you can really see
that's made out of beeswax. That's made out of beeswax. So,
and I don't think the chains have been added to the stump. So I know that's one addition.
Right.
It still needs to be made. But right there, you can see the buckle says U.S. Obviously, he's got his cartridge box. He's got everything a U.S. soldier would have had, and also Eric, the words that we suggested for the base that was included for everyone, right?
I'm not sure if it's in there, so go ahead and share that as well.
Well, we talked about what we thought would be appropriate verbiage for the base of the statue, which will be made of granite, and it'll have a bottom section that slowly tapers toward this rectangular base of the statue, which you can actually see in this photograph. And the words that we thought would be appropriate, and let me pull them up here in my email, is on the front of the statue, or on the front of the base, which is what will actually face the square, would be the words freedom, liberty, equality. And on the left side of the base, which faces 3rd Avenue, are simply the words, the Union forever. That's a very common phrase you see on U.S. Civil War statues. And then on the right side of the statue, which faces roughly Mellow Mushroom, it would simply say United States Colored Troops, 1863 to 1865. We felt, and Chris can speak to this, that less is more on the base. This will be engraved into the granite, so it will not be on a plaque. Engraving is a much preferable way to handle words like that. I mean, it's really what you do with a memorial or a tombstone or a headstone. So those are really the two things I wanted to cover, so you can see the statue and then kind of digest the words that we've proposed for the engraving on 3 sides. Of course, there won't be engraving on the 4th side because the back of the base is what will butt up pretty close to the current interpretive marker for the USCTs. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chris.
I don't know if there's much more I need to add. We talked about how the piece is interpreted. Because it is a piece of art, people will look at it and see different things, but in brochures that the Battle of Franklin Trust will produce and other things on the website, we'll explain what the tree stump means, we'll explain the shackles and those things, but it wasn't necessary to try to put all of that into the base or even to try to redo the marker. And again, I just want to stress that it is a piece of art more than an exact body cast of a soldier. And so with that, he wants to stress texture of the sculpture more than a smooth kind of presentation. He wants it to look like it has either come out of a battle or it's going into a battle. And so as a result, the feet are slightly enlarged for an outside work of art to speak of stability, and even the hands will be a little larger because, again, he's trying to communicate the strength of the piece and even of the soldier. The initial process is almost done. As Eric said, he's working on the shackles, and he'll probably use some kind of beeswax mold to get going with that. And this is a very tedious process. What's even left, what's coming next in terms of it going to mold makers and it being sent to a foundry and wax molds, and then ultimately there will be bronze metal molds made. And so there's a lot to it. And if I'm not mistaken, in order to get a smaller metal version of the maquette, it could be upwards of $10,000 to just get that. And so I know we have $150,000, and we've used some of that obviously to get the project started. But I would like for us to determine, if we have to have the maquette in our hands. Now there will be some wax molds made. Maybe we can get a wax mold here. But if the city says that we should use some of this money to have a smaller bronze version, then so be it. But it is a steep price tag to do that.
If I can comment on that as a part of the Public Arts Commission, that is not one of the requirements that we had put into our, I don't even know, our basically our working documents, that a maquette is not necessary. Now, I don't know if that carries over to our board, but it is definitely the price of a maquette is a hindrance to being able to fundraise for the full project. So I guess I would propose, unless the board wants a maquette, I don't see the reason for it.
Well, we actually have some public comments possibly on the phone. If I could get those, since this is the public hearing, and then we'll go to board comments after we get a motion.
Callers on the phone, you've been asked to unmute. If you have a comment, go ahead, please.
Hi, everyone. This is Lauren Ward with Visit Franklin, and I'd love to comment.
Go ahead, Lauren. If you'll give your address and we'll go from there.
Sure. 400 Main Street, Franklin, Tennessee, 37064.
Thank you.
So I would like to express my support of the USDT soldier statue. From a tourism perspective in particular, I'd like to say that this statue will be a very important piece to the overall visitor experience, really expanding on the fuller story of our history and making Franklin feel more inclusive and welcoming to all. Anecdotally, our staff member who oversees our PR efforts recently presented on Franklin's fuller story and the proposed statue at a well-renowned travel writers conference and received a great amount of positive feedback and interest from travel writers and also other destinations wanting to tell this particular story to potential visitors. And other destinations wanted to know more how they could do something similar in their destination. So all of that to say, I believe the USDT statue would be an incredibly positive addition to Franklin, not only for our residents, but also for our visitors.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Is there another caller?
There is another caller. For the other caller, if you would like to speak, go ahead and unmute.
Okay. Eric and Chris, do y'all have any other comments before we close the public hearing and ask for a motion and some clarification from the board?
I don't have any comments.
There we go. Sorry. I have one just quick thing, just in case it's better to be repetitive than miss something. Our plan, if this is approved, we're still shooting for dedication and unveiling on or around Juneteenth. So we're about 7 months away, and that'll give us plenty of time with approval to get this cast and start making plans. Thanks.
Thank you. I would ask the public hearing is now closed, and I would ask for a motion and some clarification as far as the maquette.
I move approval without the maquette.
I'll second that.
Appropriate motion second. Now, any discussion by the board? Ready to vote?
Mayor, one question. I know Pastor Williamson said that the narrative on the installation was that going to be kept on the Battle of Franklin Trust website? I would just like to make sure that that's there, because I guess we don't want any future reinterpretation or something taken out of context to kind of explain what the stump is, the shackles, etc.
Eric, you can go ahead.
Yes, Alderman Speedy. We will not only include that on our website. Our plan is that we will create, because at some point, hopefully in 2021, we're actually going to start offering tours that will begin in the square and embrace the fuller story and the story of Franklin. And this will be part of a brochure as well. So it'll be distributed in really 2 formats almost right away.
And when the statue is unveiled and dedicated, we will speak to the imagery that is there, and also if there are any handouts to commemorate the occasion, it will also have the interpretation as far as we see it and the artist sees it as it pertains to the imagery on the statue.
Okay, you ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. We'll now go to item 6, which is Amendment 3 to City of Franklin Contract 2011-0076 with Smith Beckman Reed Incorporated for the McAtcher Northwest Utility Relocation Project, an amount not to exceed $19,980. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Blanton. Ready to vote? No discussion. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Abstain.
Thank you. Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 6 with 1 abstention. Item 7, resolution approving amendment to administrative services agreement with ICMA Retirement Corporation regarding contract 2018-103. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you, Alderman. Thank you. Who's the second? Alderman McClendon?
That would be me.
Thank you. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Item 8, City of Franklin contract 2020-0246 employment agreement with City Administrator Eric Stuckey. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Thank you, Alderman McClendon, and seconded by Alderman Berger, Vice Mayor Berger. Thank you. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Absolutely.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
And Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Item 9, reappointment of Ashley Roberts, Ellie Westman, Chen, and Nan Zierden to the Franklin Public Arts Commission. Is there a motion?
Approval.
Thank you, Alderman Blanton. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Peterson. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin. I heard a yes. Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
And Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Item 10 is appointment of David Reynolds to the Franklin Public Arts Commission to replace Jennifer Alvarado. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Alderman Martin. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman McClendon. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Starting from the bottom. Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Barnhill.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you. Passes 7-0. I now need a motion. No, I need item 14. Consideration City of Franklin contract number 2020-0112, a local agency project agreement with Tennessee Department of Transportation for the construction of State Route 96 bridge over the Harpeth River. Is there a motion?
I move for approval.
Thank you, Alderman Peterson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Blanton. And I think if I interpreted what Alderman Peterson told me, is she wants some clarification on this from staff.
I just want to have some people tell about it because it's really close to where I live, and so I want other people to know what's going to happen. What, 3 years?
The time frame will obviously be up to TDOT in their project delivery. I know once it gets on their 3-year plan, they typically proceed with getting it to construction within 3 to 5 years, generally speaking. But there's no guarantee, obviously. And the improvements that we're adding to the bridge are essentially decorative street lighting, wider sidewalks, and a decorative parapet wall. So we're not going overboard with the bridge, but we are doing some enhancements. And the intent of the funding is to pay for those enhancements. But I'd say anywhere from 3 to 5 years the project should get to construction.
And it's reconstruction of the whole bridge. We're just adding the extras, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's full tear down, full rebuild.
And that's about a 6% cost that the city will absorb, and the remainder will be through the state of Tennessee.
Any other discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon. I think that was a yes. Passes 7-0. I now need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes, she said yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes. Yes.
Vice Mayor Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. We'll now go into executive session.
Hey, Robert, if you're on, we're coming back. Oh, look, he's ready. Okay, wait, we can't. We got to get ready, and you're muted. Hold tight.
Apparently the mayor forgot. Sometimes we are reminded in the most awkward ways.
Absolutely.
It's her world. We're just living in it.
I just want y'all to note that she didn't even say, hey, Mayor, hold on 1 second, please. She said, wait, you're muted and we're not back yet.
And
Way to go, Angie.
Sorry about that.
who's the 586 number? Okay, then any matters to be considered from executive session?
No, but I move to
none.
adjourn.
I'll take that as a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Blanton. Alderman Barnhill, how do you vote?
We lost him.
Okay, Alderman Martin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Speedy?
Yes.
Alderman Vice Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson?
Yes.
Alderman Clinton?
Yes.
And back to Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Unanimous vote.